Hey, welcome into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. It's the show where we take a look at Giles, Lawrence, and Maury counties from the pages of your local newspapers. I'm Scott Stewart, publisher of Lawrence County Advocate, Main Street Maury, and the Pulaski Citizen. In this week's intro, I thought I'd share a few things that's been going on outside the news here at your Southern Middle Tennessee newspapers. First, we have to throw a huge shout out to the Summertown and Loretto volleyball teams, both making the state Class A volleyball tournament. Both were set to start action yesterday, which would be Tuesday, and in Murfreesboro, and we'll keep you up to date on their progress. Second, Main Street Maury has a new address. That's right, Main Street Maury has moved, and we've been working hard to get this place ready for daily traffic. So we're at 1106 South Garden Street. We're there in the Arts District. Part of all of the work that we've been doing has been creating a new studio for many of our Main Street Maury shows, Main Street media shows, including this one here, also Main Street Sports Today with Patton and Neely, and several others. Like I said, we're now at 1106 South Garden Street in the Arts District. Please come by and see us. We will be keeping you up to date on the status of our new office, but we are located there now. And in Pulaski, we're excited about all of our November and December special sections that are coming up, as well as our annual Christmas tree lighting in December. And we've got that extra excitement for the new ice skating rink that we're going to have in December. The Pulaski Citizen Live will be providing video of the rink 24/7 for the entire week that the rink's going to be active. Well, that's just a few things that's been going on off the pages of your local newspapers. Make sure you keep up what's going on in your community with a subscription to the Pulaski Citizen, Lawrence County Advocate, and Main Street Maury. Make sure you visit mainstreetmediatn.com. That's mainstreetmediatn.com for information about subscribing. Also, there'll be more information on how you can subscribe at the end of today's show. Now, let's get our weekly wrap started with the Main Street Maury wrap. And here's our friend and, Maury County reporter, Andrew Pearson.
Hello, all. I'm Maury County dedicated reporter Andrew Pearson, and this is our weekly wrap for Main Street Maury. The first cases were heard in courtroom 103 yesterday at the new County Judicial Center south of the Columbia Square. County Commissioner Jerry Breidenbaugh represented the center's first clients, with the Honorable Judge Bobby Sands presiding. All legal personnel there took pride in the event, especially Counsel Breidenbaugh. The Maury County Commission authorized its utility to take legal action if need be against Columbia Power and Water Services. Allegedly, CPWS is providing water service to parcels that are already served by the county utility. The city has called this uncooperative and even ungrateful, since the county utility gets its water from the city's water supply. Speaking of CPWS, the agency has discontinued its popular budget billing program, disgruntling many customers. However, they have plans to establish a different program called variable billing. More details will hopefully come soon. The Mount Pleasant City Commission mandated last week that developers put alarm bulbs on the porches of new houses. These will flash to help first responders arrive faster at the scene of an emergency. The lights can be activated by an app or by calling 911 on a phone connected to the bulb. The City of Columbia has received an $810,000 grant from the state in order to help about a dozen low-income homeowners upgrade their houses, make necessary repairs, and get them up to code. A meeting will take place at City Hall on October 29th, where more information will be given out and the applications for the funds will be passed out. On the next page, Columbia officials tour Fire Station Number 1 during its renovations. The County Archives received a $5,000 grant from the state. The Columbia Peace and Justice Initiative will host a blood drive on October 30th in honor of sickle cell anemia patient John Wesley Anderson, the son of the pastor of Mount Calvary Missionary Baptist Church. The photos from Columbia's Fall Fest are printed on page A3. Maury Regional will have a free seminar on October 25th telling you how you can get the most out of your Medicare coverage in 2025. And finally, on page A7, we cover the school board's discussion of the proficiency goals which the county has set for the school district. Well, finally, we're taking votes until November 3rd for this year's Main Street Awards given out by our parent company, Main Street Media. Almost 1 million votes were cast last year at Main Street Maury and all of our sister papers in the greater Nashville area. Help us get over that hump this year and register 1 million votes. Voting instructions can be found on page A3 of Main Street Maury. We also have obituaries, advertisements, and coupons for the Piggly Wiggly. Pick up a copy of this week's issue at a grocery or convenience store today. That's all for news. Let's go to Maurice with sports.
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Maury. This week's print edition of Main Street Maury, the October 16th, October 23rd print edition of Main Street Maury features coverage of Columbia Central's senior night win over Franklin County, and it was a big night for a freshman, Jamari Hall specifically. Check on what the youngster did on senior night as Columbia Central took care of business in Region 5-5A against Franklin County. Also, Mount Pleasant drops a tough one to East Hickman in Region 5-2A action. Fell behind big early, rallied late, but couldn't quite get over the hump, dropping their third straight decision. The Tigers did against East Hickman. Again, we've got coverage of that in this week's print edition of Main Street Maury. We've also got coverage of Summit's Spartans stopping a 6-game losing streak with a big Region 6-6A win over visiting Overton. And Independence goes out to Fairview, picks up its second straight victory, defeating the host Yellow Jackets 30-0 in a 9-region contest. A little coverage of that as well. We've got Mostradamus and his Week 10 predictions. We've got a feature on a local officiating legend. 50 years in the game for Thomas Ray Frierson, was honored by the TSSAA for that. We've got we've got a piece on that. I'll let y'all decide if it's nice since I wrote it. But anyway, we've also got some soccer coverage as Culleoka bowed out of the postseason with a tough loss at home to Huntland in the Region 5A semifinals. Again, coverage of that in print. And we've got our Red Zone Rundown, which gets you caught up on all the stats, standings, this week's schedule, and this week's Tennessee Sports Writers Association top 10 polls across the state from classes 1A to 6A and in divisions 2A, AA, and AAA. So be sure and check all of that out, again, in this week's print edition of Main Street Maury. Online this week, we will have coverage of Columbia State women's soccer. They are in postseason play. So be sure and go to the website at mainstreetmaury.com for updates on the Lady Chargers and where they're sitting. Also, this is rare. Don't get used to it. But Battle Creek, in their first year of existence, is playing junior varsity football. They had a big matchup this week against Columbia Central. We'll have coverage of that junior varsity matchup, and it was a pretty darn good one, actually. So be sure and check that out again on the website as well. We'll also have Friday night's coverage of Week 10 football on the website before we get it in print next week. So again, go to the website, mainstreetmaury.com, for all of that, and we will see y'all next week.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
So, you want to be a part of the Busy Bee team, huh? Well, how do you see yourself fitting into the organization? Oh, I get it. You want to be a Weatherby.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door, that starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.
The Pulaski Citizen Wrap starts this week with Citizen Spotlight Christy Simpson right there at the top and center of the front page. Also on A1, Giles County Sheriff Kyle Helton announced his resignation from office after 18 years to move on to a job with the Tennessee Department of Homeland Security. Helton recommended that Captain Joe Purvis be chosen to run the Sheriff's Department until the next election in 2026. That will be a choice of the County Commission. Helton made his announcement at the County Commission meeting Monday, and this week's paper has all the information from that meeting. The front page this week features a teaser to the Pulaski Citizens Breast Cancer Awareness section. Make sure you get your copy to see all the information and the celebration of survivors. Sherwood Park is hosting the movie Inside Out 2 Saturday, with the park opening at 6 p.m. and the movie starting at dusk. Also on page 1, the school board got updates on renovations and unspent funds in their renovation projects as they get ready for their next full board meeting, which will be November 4th. We got all the information from the work session, school board's work session. And the latest from the Pulaski Board of Mayor and Aldermen is on the front page of this week's edition. Inside, it's Realtors Week. State Representative Clay Doggett has been named the Rural Health Legislator of the Year by the Rural Health Association of Tennessee. Margaret Campbell's Croctober celebration brings us tips and tricks for slow cooker success, and Margaret gives us a look at the upcoming Giles County Historical Society meeting coming up Sunday. Our old buddy Trey Donovan dropped some travel knowledge on us as he and his bride took a little trip recently, and Trey breaks down the top destinations the only way that Trey can. So make sure you check that out. And meet Tootsie this week. Tootsie is our GCHA Pet Corner Pet of the Week. As always, Pulaski Citizen has obituary notices, court docket, property transfers, government public notices, backward glances, fun and games, church directory, community briefs, and church briefs. And our guide, Wade Neely, has all the sports information that you need to know. And here's Wade right now.
What's up, folks? Wade Neely here, sports editor at the Pulaski Citizen. Time now for a look at what's in print and what's online for the October 23rd edition of your Pulaski Citizen sports page. And we start with Giles County High School football. It was community senior night, but Giles County was the one that kind of celebrated unofficially as 6 different Bobcat seniors scored touchdowns in their win, 49-0 over community to remain undefeated in region play and officially clinch a berth in the Class 3A state playoffs. Again, it was a wild, wild night for Giles County as they took care of business versus community early, got a 9-yard rushing touchdown from a kid that's not a running back, but an offensive lineman, as Caden Reinhardt kind of stole the show. He gets a token carry at the 9-yard line, rumbles right in, and Giles County was off to the races. He would be joined again by 5 other performers getting touchdowns for GCHS as they kind of unofficially celebrated senior night on community's home turf. It was a great night for the Bobcats, again, who took care of business early. They were up 21-0 by the end of the first quarter and kind of cruised. Second straight week that they've only scored 1 touchdown in the second half, but it's also been the second straight week that it's been a running clock in the second half. So Giles County with a big win there. Saw great performances on the ground from Caleb Oates, who for a second straight week didn't have to really carry it a lot, which is kind of by design for Giles County, as Oates finishes under 100 yards for a second straight game, but he does get a rushing touchdown, finishing with 7 carries for 89 yards. Jazz Bentley, another freshman. David Bridges was the freshman last week that stole the show, but he was out with a concussion, and so Bentley got a lot of those carries, 3 carries, in fact, for 56 yards on a great night as his kind of debut, if you will, in the backfield for Giles County. Also saw a great passing performance for a second straight week from Xavier Randolph, 7 of 8 through the air for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. All in all, a great night for Giles County. The lone senior who scored is a kid who plays like a senior. Tate Bedford with a strip and score, running untouched 20 yards for a touchdown late in the first quarter. Other than that, it was all seniors as GCHS, again, remains undefeated in region play. They have a big game coming up Friday versus McKenzie, a high-powered 1A foe, 1A royalty, and they will come into the Brickyard Friday. That should be fun. And then after that, they will take on Sequatchie County on the road on November 1st for the region championship in Region 4 AAA. Flipping the script, Richland, turnovers. 5 of them plagued Richland as they fell in overtime 35-28 to visiting Summertown. This was a matchup of previous region rivals, and it felt like a region game in this heavyweight bout between the Raiders and the Eagles. And Richland's fumbles and interceptions proved costly. They kind of were their own worst enemy at times in this game, but kudos to Summertown, who is a great team, had been playing well, and Richland still had a chance. Kind of some controversy at the end of the game in overtime as quarterback Blaine Woodard looked like he might have been down, and the play in the game therefore should have continued, but one final turnover in overtime is what ultimately cost the Richland Raiders their chance to knock off the Eagles, who defeated them last year for their lone win. So Richland was kind of looking out for a measure of revenge there. Couldn't quite pull it off in that showdown. I mentioned Richland had great performances, however, on the ground. Nash Petty, he goes for over 100 yards rushing, 115 yards on the ground, and then also had a touchdown. And then they also saw good carries, per usual, from Luke Eastlick as Richland kind of dictated the pace of play offensively when they didn't turn the ball over. But again, those 5 giveaways proved costly. Also saw Jake Sands hauling in a 7-yard touchdown from Blaine Woodard in that performance. Richland is back into region play this week. They got a big showdown when Eagleville comes to town. All of Richland's games are at home for the rest of the regular season. They open up with Eagleville Friday night, and then they also will welcome Moore County in the final night of the regular season. So recaps there from Giles, recaps there from Richland. Also in the mix, we have award winners from district tournament action, district regular season, and district tournament action for Giles County. The Lady Bobcats took home a lot of hardware, including Mia Harlow, who was your 8AA Forward of the Year, and Maria Holt was also your 8AA Freshman of the Year. Mixed in there, we have some artwork of your all district teams as well as your all tournament teams as GCHS closes out the season. Tough result. They defeated Lawrence County in their opener in district tournament play 7-0, but they fell 8-0 versus Franklin County, a team who is still playing and going on to the state tournament yet again. So that's our look at what's in print. We also, of course, got always fun to catch up, and you never know what our good buddy Larry Woody's going to have for us. Woody's Woods and Waters this week. Spooky Tales from the Outdoor Crypt. Kind of getting into the mold of Halloween here. And so it's a real hoot. That's all I'm going to say about that. Make sure you check it out as Larry Woody closes out this week's sports section. That's all the time we've got. Wade Neely saying so long. If you miss any of this in print, you can catch it online at PulaskiCitizen.com. We'll see you next week.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
So, you want to be a part of the Busy Bee team, huh? Well, how do you see yourself fitting into the organization? Oh, I get it. You want to be a weather bee.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door. That starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.
The front page of the Lawrence County Advocate this week starts with last week's apprehension of a man who hit a deputy with his car. Also on the front, burn permits are required through May. Local EMA personnel continue to assist East Tennessee recover from the Hurricane Helene. And EMA Director Shelton Barnett gives us an idea of what the people there are dealing with. So check that out on the front page. Finally, on the front, Lawrence County has received a waste management grant, and a fall festival is planned for next weekend that gives us all an opportunity to help with the effort to restore the West Gaines School. Inside this week, be on the lookout for the results of the annual graphics packaging food drive. They have the same story that we have in the Pulaski Citizen of State Representative Clay Doggett being named the Rural Health Legislator of the Year. Congratulations to Lawrenceburg Federal on celebrating 90 years as a bank this year. That's amazing. Congratulations, guys. And as always, Lawrence County Advocate has community announcements, government notices, auctions and estate sales, local forecasts from Tennessee Valley Weather, and the local church directory. And join LSAP Coalition in observing this week as Red Ribbon Week. Red ribbons are worn in memory of DEA agent Enrique Kiki Camarena, who was killed in the line of duty back in 1985 at the age of 37. Find out more about Red Ribbon Week here in the Advocate this week. In sports, as I said in the opening, congratulations to the Lady Mustangs and Lady Eagles. It seems like there at the end of the season, they were the only two who could give each other a run for their money, and now both have advanced to the state tournament. Loretta got there by defeating Summertown in the district and region finals, then defeating Harpeth in the sub-state. Summertown finished second to Loretto in the district and region and fought to a 3-2 nail-biter up at Camden Central in the sub-state round. So keep your eye on the Lawrence County Advocate Facebook page for updated information. They were to have started their tournament action yesterday, Tuesday, and we'll keep you updated on how things are going. We are winding down the regular season for football, and Loretto and Summertown find themselves in amongst 4 teams at 3-2 in their region, fighting for 3 playoff spots behind East Hickman, who is at 5-0 at the top of the region. Summertown won their final non-region game last week in overtime at Richland. And that was a heck of a ball game, too. Loretto battled from behind at non-region Eagleville last week, but came up just a little bit short. So Loretta's at home this week against Waverly in Summertown. Loretto actually has moved their game to Thursday, so don't miss that. Loretto will be at home Thursday against Waverly. Friday, Summertown travels to Lewis County. Summertown travels to Lewis County Friday. Lawrence County saw their postseason hopes end with a loss at Shelbyville last week. The Wildcats have 2 games left, including this week at Franklin County. Finally, our Fearless Forecasters jackpot in the Lawrence County Advocate is to $900 this week. $900. If you pick them all right, that's yours to win. We'll be right back right after this.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
Happy Wednesday, I'm Kelly Rawson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check at your forecast. Maybe a few clouds to start off here in southern middle Tennessee for today. Temperatures in the 50s to start again. Maybe a jacket by morning. You will not need it this afternoon as temperatures get up into the lower 80s here in southern middle Tennessee. Maybe breezy at times, but we will stay dry with a few clouds here and there, but otherwise still expect a nice sunny and dry day. For this evening, temperatures will eventually fall back off into the 60s and then into the 50s overnight for southern middle Tennessee. And then for your Thursday, we are going to stay dry as well, maybe just a few degrees cooler for the afternoon. You can see that here on our 7-day forecast. We go from 83 today to just 80 for tomorrow. So that cold front not really doing much, just knocking us back a few degrees. Heading into Friday, we are going to be mostly dry aside from maybe a stray shower Friday night into Saturday with an additional mostly dry cold front, we'll call it. We go from the 80s back into the 70s with that frontal passage.
Hey, well, that's it for Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee this week. Hey, don't forget to get the subscription to your local newspaper. That would be the Pulaski Citizen, Lawrence County Advocate, or Main Street Murray's, so that you can get it sent to your mailbox each week, or you can find it right there on your computer or tablet. Here's how you do it. You visit PulaskiCitizen.com. mainstreetmurray.com or lawrencecountyadvocate.net. Any one of those websites will get you a subscription to any of our newspapers, or call 931-363-3544, 615-452-4940, or 931-762-1726. Any of those numbers, any of those websites will get you a subscription to your local newspaper. And once again, thank you guys for trusting us as your source for your local news and information and events. And good Lord willing, we'll be right back here next week on Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
So, you want to be a part of the Busy Bee team, huh? Well, how do you see yourself fitting into the organization? Oh, I get it. You want to be a weather bee.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door, that starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.